When you add and subtract rational expressions, you just want to make sure that you get a common denominator, just like you do with a regular fraction. So once it has a common denominator, just as this case, you can just add the numerator. So 13a plus 5a is going to be 18a's, and then you need to keep the denominator the same. And after this, you're going to want to simplify it. So 18 divided by 4 is going to give you 9 over 2. And then a over a squared is going to give you a in the denominator. So the restrictions are just going to be a can't be 0. Okay, so if it's already factored out, you just have to add or subtract the numerator. So this problem is going to be y squared plus 10y plus 21 over y squared minus 9. So once I have this added, what I want to do is actually factor out the numerator and the denominator, because I can cancel out a common factor. So this is going to factor out and do y plus 3, y plus 7 over y plus 3, y minus 3. So your final answer will be y plus 7 over y minus 3. So don't forget to check to see if you can cancel out anything further. And then let's do the restrictions. So look into the denominators are going to be, the restrictions are going to be y can't be plus or minus 3. Okay, second one. Now, this one, just be really careful when you're subtracting. The most common mistakes I see is people not distributing this negative to both of these terms. So you'll have n squared, 3n minus n is going to be plus 2n. Negative 7 minus 1 is negative 8 over n squared plus n minus 6. So this top will factor out into n plus 4 times n minus 2 over n plus 3 times n minus 2. So the resulting answer will be n plus 4 over n plus 3. And then you have to look at your restrictions. So the restrictions are going to be n, look in your beginning, middle, the end. The restrictions are going to be n can't be 2 or negative 3. Okay, down here. All right, so now we have different denominators. So what you want to do, just like if you had 2 and 3, a number that goes into 2 and 3 is going to be 6. So I'm going to make this to be 6x. In order to make the denominator equal to 6x, I have to multiply the top and the bottom by 3. And over here, I need to make this a 6x, so I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 2. So I'll have 45 over 6x minus 32 over 6x. So just be careful at this point that I see some students sometimes right here, they're like, oh, I can just reduce this. Don't reduce this until the very end. Okay, so you get a common denominator. Now you add or subtract, then you reduce. So this will be 45 minus 32 is 13x over 6x, or 13 over 6x. So, and then try to reduce. So I cannot reduce this, so this is my answer. So the restrictions are going to be x can't be 0. Okay, and the next one, what you want to do is when you find a common denominator, sometimes it's easiest just to factor everything. So if I factor this out, I'll have k squared plus 16 over 5 times the quantity k minus 2 minus 4 over k minus 2. So notice that you're just missing on the right hand side, you're missing this k or 5. This one has a 5, this one doesn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 5. Okay, now I'll have a common denominator. So I'll have k squared plus 16 minus 20 over 5 times k minus 2. this turns into k squared minus 4 over 5 times k minus 2. Okay, now you want to look to see if you can simplify. So can you simplify k squared minus 4? Or can you factor it? Yes, you can. So it's k minus 2, k plus 2 over 5 times k minus 2. So you'll have these common factors canceling out, and you'll end up with k plus 2 over 5. So when we do the restrictions, you got to look at the beginning, the middle, and the end. So the only restriction is going to be k can't be 2, because you can't set 5 equal to 0. Okay, so for this one, what you want to do first is you want to factor out this. So this is going to turn into x plus 2 times x plus 3. So you need x plus 3 over here. So I need to multiply the numerator and the denominator by x plus 3. So now I have a common denominator. So I'm going to add the numerator. So I'll have x squared plus x. Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2 over x plus 2, x plus 3. Okay, your next step is you should look to see if you can factor to simplify anything out. Well, this factors into x plus 2, x minus 1 over x plus 2, x plus 3. So these two common factors will factor out. So your answer is going to be x minus 1 over x plus 3. So now let's look at what we have as far as your restrictions. So x can't be negative 2 and negative 3 are your only two restrictions. Negative 2, negative 3. Okay, and then over here, I'm looking at here, and I could factor out, this is going to be m minus 2, m plus 2. So what that means is this left side needs an m plus 2. So now that I have a common denominator of m minus 2 times the quantity m plus 2, is I'm going to take my numerator and simplify this to be m squared. Now I have 5m and 2m, so it's going to be 7m. 6 plus 4, don't forget to distribute that too, is going to be 10 over m plus 2, m minus 2. Now we need to factor out the numerator. Okay, so the numerator is going to be factored out into m plus 3, m plus 2 I mean, times m plus 5 over m plus 2, m minus 2. So you're going to end up with m plus 5 over m minus 2. And your restrictions are going to be m can't be 2 and negative 2. Okay, let's look at number 9. Okay, number 9, everything's factored in your denominator. So in this case, you're going to have to multiply the right-hand side by w plus 1, and then the left-hand side by w minus 7. Okay, so then simplifying the numerator, I'm not going to do this all at one time. Well, I guess I will. So I have 5w and 8w. So that's going to be 13w. 13w. And let's look at my constants. I have negative 35 plus 8. So negative 35 plus 8 is negative 27. Over, and my denominator is going to be w minus 7, w plus 1. So I can't factor out anything over the numerator. So, so nothing will cancel out. So actually this is my answer. And then my restrictions are going to be w can't be 7 and w can't be negative 1. Okay, let's look at number 10. You can factor out a 4. So I'll have 2, see if I factor, it helps me figure out the common denominator. Plus p minus 6 times p minus 3, p minus 5. So they both have p minus 5 in common, but this side needs a 4, and this side needs a p minus 3 in your denominator. So when I figure out the numerator, I'm going to have 2p and 4p. So that's going to give me 6 p's. And then I'll also have negative 6 and negative 24. So it's going to give me negative 30. And then my denominator will be 4 times p minus 5 times p minus 3. So next I want to check, can I factor out the numerator and have anything cancel out? So I have 6 times p minus 5, that's going to be my numerator. So these p minus 5s will cancel out. And don't forget too that you have 6 over 4, so that's going to give you 3/2. So a lot of people forget to factor out even the fraction. So then I'll have 3 over 2 times p minus 3 is my answer. And then the last one, let's factor out the denominators. So it's going to be r over 2 times r plus 4 minus 8 times r parentheses r plus 4. So the left-hand side needs another r, and the right-hand side needs a 2. And now we have a common denominator. So the numerator is going to be r squared minus 16, and the denominator is going to be 2r times the quantity r plus 4. So I got r squared minus 16 right here. So let's factor out the numerator to be r minus 4, r plus 4, over 2r times the quantity r plus 4. Cancel, cancel. So my answer is going to be r minus 4 over 2r. I cannot cancel out these r's because it's over a plus or minus. So now let's look at our restrictions. We can't have, r can't be negative 4 or 0 because we have that monomial right here and right here. So r can't be negative 4 and 0 or 0.